go to the cloud. That's great. Okay. Thank you so much for coming to this class today. Today we're going to be focusing mainly on hip openers. So we're going to do a lot of warriors and poses that involve, really opening the sort of hip area and all the abductors from the legs. If at any point during the class you decide that that's too much for you, remember I can't see you. You are welcome to come down to the mat and just relax, take a sort of go into meditation, breathe, anything. So you don't need to do all the poses. And what's more important, your poses don't have to look anything like mine. If you see me doing something that, I'm not quite sure I can do that, maybe you can take a sort of an easy version of it. So with that being said, let's start and let's sit in a comfortable position. As I always say, I have a block underneath me. You can use a book or you can use a cushion. It's great for your lower back to sit a little bit higher than your knees. And whenever you're ready, take a deep inhale and close your eyes. We're just going to do a little bit of centering, so arriving at the present moment. Take a moment to simply assess how your body is feeling today. Whether you've got any pains or any aches anywhere in the body. If you do, just simply send some oxygen onto them. So when you breathe, bring your awareness onto that area and see if you can soften a little bit. Notice how your ribcage expands as you breathe in and how your ribcage softens as you breathe out. Just bringing your awareness to that really soft movement of the rib cage, expanding and softening. Bring awareness to your mind as well, whether it's going all around the place and being really agitated, or maybe it's just a calm mind today. It doesn't matter. You're just observing, and observing with curiosity as well. And whenever you can, bring your mind back to your breath and to the present moment. Not just now, but throughout the whole practice. Take a deep inhale through the nose. And with the next exhale, open your eyes. Namaste, welcome to this class. As I said, we're going to do some hip openers first. We're going to be doing some hip openers throughout the class, but we're going to do some warm-up first. So the first one we're doing, it's bring your right leg behind and bring your left leg sort of in a sort of triangle way. As you're here, inhale, lift both arms up. And as you exhale, release the left hand, start turning towards the left. Inhale back to the center. Exhale towards the left. Inhaling back to center. Exhale back towards the left. Inhale to center. And one more time. Release the hand and stay there. Perhaps you can bend the elbows and go towards the floor a little bit, and then maybe inhale, push yourself back up. Exhale, releasing down. Inhale. And then exhale. And inhale. Come back to the center. And then swap legs. Over to the other side. Make sure that you are sitting comfortably. Your hips are anchored down. If you notice the hip already starts to lift, see if you can bring it down. We're gonna inhale, lift the left arm up. As you exhale, twist towards the right. Inhale, coming back to center. Exhale towards the right. Inhale back to center. Exhale. And one more time. And come back. And release. Bring your feet together. And do a little bit of, I would call this maybe flapping of the butterfly wings. Imagine that you have some wings there and you're flapping them. Just simply warming up the hip area. And then close your legs. Bring your feet in. See, you might need to use your hands by coming to a sort of, I would say this malasana, but like a squat pose. Your legs are together, you're on your toes. Bring the hands to the heart center. Balance here. Really use your core. If you think you're gonna fall, maybe just place your hands down. Otherwise, keep your back really straight. Your hands can be in the center, or you can have your hands down. Slowly bring the hands forwards and start stretching your legs. See if you can find length throughout the spine, creating a little bit more length. Exhale, bend the knees, come back into this squatting pose. Again, hands down, lift. You might or might not be able to stretch your legs, it doesn't matter. Inhale, lift the chest, exhale, bend the knees, come back to Malasana or whatever sort of a squatting position one more time. And then this time, we're gonna open the feet mat width apart. It's okay to bend your knees because we're gonna bend them in a minute. But see if you can find length throughout the spine. So see if you can bring your back to be as straight as possible. Looking forwards. As you bend your knees, bring your hips back. Loads, like you wanna almost sit somewhere in an imaginary chair. Great. Now bring your arms forwards. You can touch the fingers if you want. And hold here. And then exhale, release the hands, lift the sit bones up, stretch it back. And then one more time, sitting low, hands together. And then pushing into the feet, come all the way up. And exhale, release. Wonderful. We're gonna do some side stretches first. So inhale, lift both arms up. Grab hold of the left wrist with your right hand. And then start leaning towards that right side of the body. Try to keep your hips level and anchored down. Now turn the chest towards the floor. Inhale, lift the chest towards the sky. Exhale, rotate the chest towards the floor. One more time, inhale. Looking towards the ceiling, exhale. And then come back to center, release the hands. Shake the arms if you need to. And then over to the other side. Inhale, lift both arms up. Find length throughout the spine. Grab hold of the right hand with the left, the right wrist with the left hand, and then lean towards that left side. Exactly the same thing. See if you can turn your chest towards the floor. Inhale, lifting the chest towards the sky. Exhale, bringing the chest towards the floor. Inhale in, and then releasing. Okay, so from here, we're going to do a similar exercise, but including the legs as well. Inhale, lift both arms up. As you exhale, you step back with the right leg and then send it towards the left. From here, bend both knees, bring the hands down. Inhale, lift, swap legs. Bring the opposite leg towards the back, bend both knees, and then start getting into a flow. Of course, the more you bend your knees, the harder it is to go up. So if you just want to have a little bit of, flow without, just bend them slightly. Or if you want to go intense into here, try to bring the knee towards the floor. But also notice what's happening with your hips as you move like this. And then one more time. And wherever you are, release. Wonderful. Let's come to the front of the mat. As I said, loads of warriors today. So if at any point you need to relax, please do. Coming to the front of the mat. Ground through the feet first. Find that length throughout the spine, like you're growing a little, maybe a centimeter taller. Inhale, lift both arms up. As we exhale, we fall forwards and down. Inhale, halfway lengthening. Exhale, step back with the right foot. Bring the knee down. Inhale, lift the arms up. As we exhale, we're bringing the hands down and we opening through the front of the right thigh by shooting the leg forwards. As we exhale, we come back, stretch the leg and see if we can come forwards. If you have a block here or a book, you might want to be using it for placing the hands, or you might not need it. The thing here is to have your knee underneath your hip and then falling forwards as much as you need to. Inhale, move forwards, opening the front of that right leg. Exhale into Ardha Hanumanasana, or half Hanuman pose, Hanuman being one of the Hindu goddess. Looks like a monkey, I'm sure you've seen. One more time. Next time you come forwards, bring the hands to frame the front foot, tag the toes under, step back into a plank. Holding your plank here. If you want to intensify your plank, lift one leg up. Come down, knees, chest and chin onto the floor. Inhale, lift the chest, bring your shoulders back and your elbows in. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe here. We're gonna inhale, lift the right leg back and up. As we exhale, we bend the knee and we bring the foot forwards between the hands, dropping the left leg back. Inhale, come up. As we exhale, we move forwards. And as we exhale, we move the leg back. And we might need to readjust this leg so that the left knee is underneath the hip. And we fall forwards into Ardha Hanumanasana. Inhale and exhale. And pulsate between the two. One called Anjaneyasana, the other one called Ardha Hanumanasana. Which it doesn't really matter what they call, it's just their Sanskrit names, but sometimes good to have a little knowledge of things so that if another teacher tells you, oh, get into this pose, at least you heard that before. And the next time you go forwards, tag the toes under from the back foot and step back. Bring the knees, the chest and the chin down. Inhale, lift into Cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe onto your downward facing dog by lifting the hips a little bit higher, bringing the navel back and up, and see if you can stretch the legs down. What helps me here is if I bend the knees, lift the hip ups, and then really, really slowly, I bring the heels down to the floor. Try not to collapse too much through the shoulders and relax the head. Bend the knees, look between the hands, and step or jump forwards. Inhale halfway, exhale, falling forwards. Inhale, pushing onto the feet, coming all the way up. With the next exhale, we're going to bend the knees and sit into a chair pose. It's called Utkatasana. Exhale, falling forwards and down. Inhale halfway, lengthening. Exhale, step back into a plank. Lift the opposite leg if you lifted the leg before, and then come down to the floor. Inhale, lift the chest, elbows in. Exhale, downward facing dog. Gonna open our hips here, and I'm going to do a couple of options. So first, inhale, lift the right leg back and up. You can bend the knee and do circles with the foot. Option number one, you stay here and this is one foot. Option number two, you start leaning towards the left side and coming onto the fingers on your fingertips on your right hand. And maybe you're here and this is where you're gonna go today. And this is great. Option number three, you bring the foot down behind you and you open up into wild thing. Of course, this is totally optional. You can be in any of the other positions that I was just mentioning. If you are in wild thing, really lifting through the hips. And then wherever you are, come back and release. Bring your knees down if you need to and relax. Or you can be in downward facing dog. Your choice. Breathe. Really connecting with your body and how it feels when you do certain poses, and whether some poses you hate or some poses you love. Doesn't matter, you're just simply observing what happens when you move in a certain way. Inhale, lift the left leg up, bend the knee. Same thing, do some circles with the foot. One way, the other way. Option number one, you stay here. Option number two, you come into the fingertips from the left hand. Option number three, you drop the foot behind you. Lift the chest, lift the hips. Come into one thing. Slowly, from wherever you are, coming back. Release. This time we're going to bring all of us knees down. Take a little Balasana, child pose. Make sure that your knees are wide enough so that you've got a little space there for your chest. Really stretching the shoulders here. Shoulders, especially the shoulders when we spend too much typing in the computer or something, get a lot of tension. So really softening through the arms. Okay, press onto the hands. Back to downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the right leg back and up. As you exhale, foot forwards between the hands. Inhale, lift the arms up. Bring the hands to the front thigh. Make sure that your knee is directly on top of your ankle. If you need to move the leg, that's great. Place the hands onto the thigh and start rounding so that you can look towards your belly. So with this action, you're bringing your ribs back in. And from here, lift the head, lift the arms. Now release the foot down onto the floor, flat, so that you can go into your second warrior. Breathe. Also find your center. So some people like to be really far forward, some people go back. See if you can find that great place in the middle where your body feels anchored and balanced. And also your top, your front knee, it's in the right place. Okay, we're gonna reverse the warrior by lifting the right arm up. As we exhale, we bring the elbow to the thigh. And we're coming to extended side angle pose. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, extended side angle pose. One more time, inhale. As we exhale, we bring the elbow to the side and we stay here. And really slowly, we can either stay here or maybe bring the hand down to the floor, outside the foot. Really slowly, we're gonna start stretching the front leg to come into Trikonasana, triangle pose. Again, if you have a block, hook, anything. You can bring the hand to the block and lift the other arm up. Wonderful. Keep breathing here. Bring the awareness to the belly, and then from the belly push onto both legs. And then from here, bring the hand down. If you have another block, maybe you can place both blocks, and then adjust the back leg so that your hips are facing forwards and are parallel with the front of the mat. Inhale, lift the arms up. Bring the hands behind you. This is great for your shoulders. See if you can bring the palms of the hands together like if you're in a prayer pose, but behind you. Open the chest. If this is too hard, maybe you want to grab hold of your opposite elbows. It doesn't really matter. Whatever works for you. Really lifting through the chest, bring your ribs in. So my ribs automatically flare forward. See if you can bring them in, and then exhale. Bring your chest to be parallel with the floor. Stretch the arms to the sides. Bend the front leg a tiny little bit, enough so that you can get enough momentum to come onto the toes from the back foot. I'm going to have to move back a little bit, otherwise I'll hit my table. And then lift the back leg up into a third warrior. Stretch the standing leg. You can bring the arms to the sides. You can bring them behind the back, to the sides, wherever you think it feels good, to the heart center. And then really slowly, come back up. Stretch the leg. Release. Inhale, lift both hands up. Exhale, folding forwards. Inhale, halfway lengthening. Exhale, step back into plank. Bring your knees, your chest and your chin, or chaturanga. Inhale, lifting into cobra or upward facing dog, your choice. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Breathing here. Inhale, lift the left leg back and up. As we exhale, really slowly, we bring it forwards between the hands. Inhale, come up. You're still on your toes from the back leg. Do this sort of arrangement where you bring the hands to the front thigh and look towards your navel. So you bring your hips and your ribs back in. And then you can inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, open towards the side, plant the back foot down. Open your arms into your second warrior. Take a look at your front knee, see if it's on top of the ankle, your back leg is straight, arms parallel with the floor, you're in your center. find your center. Inhale, reverse the warrior. As you exhale, elbow towards the side in extended side angle pose. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Maybe one more time for luck. Inhale. And as we exhale, bring the elbow to the thigh. Extend the right arm towards the ceiling. You can go into an extended version of it by bringing the leg down, sinking through the hips, and bringing the arm in line with the back leg for Parsvottanasana. And then really slowly stretching the front leg, coming into triangle pose. Remember, blocks are awesome in this pose to achieve a little bit more length throughout the rib cage, which is what we're looking for here. If it's okay with your neck, maybe you can look towards the top hand. And then exhale, release the hand. Readjust your back leg so that your thighs, so that your hips are in line with the front of the mat. Inhale, come all the way up. Remember, you can bring the hands into reverse prayer or grab hold of the elbows. And then whenever you're ready, coming forwards into sort of flat back, if you can. If you think, oh, I'm starting to round, maybe just lift through the chest a little bit and maybe look forwards. Really using your core here to support you. And really slowly moving into your third warrior by bending the front knee a little bit, coming onto the toes from the back foot, and then lifting the chest. Maybe hands to the heart center, or to the sides, or to the back, or in reverse prayer. And if you fall out of your third warrior, it's okay. It's like everything, just come back into it with control. And then really slowly, bring the leg in and relax. And we're gonna do some more hip openers, and then we'll go down to the floor. So the first one is take a big step to the side. This is called Prasarita Padottanasana. Bring your feet in line with each other. Hands to the back, interlace the fingers. First, open the chest. Then second, see if you can straighten your arms behind you, pushing onto the thumbs. Once you've got those actions, and you make sure that your ribs are not flaring forwards, that they're in, now start folding forwards. Bringing your arms over the head. The crown of the head aims for the floor. You might not get there, and this is okay. You might want to have a block, so that gives you the idea of where the crown of the head goes. Wonderful pose to open the hips and to open the arms and the shoulders as well. And then inhale halfway, release the hands, bring the right hand to the middle of the floor. Inhale, lift the left arm towards the ceiling. And then swap hands over to the other side. And then swap again. Lift the opposite arm and elbow, and then again. And then release. See if you can bring your arms or your hands to your legs. Maybe even grabbing hold of your big toe with your peace fingers. So the first two fingers and the thumb. And then bend the elbows towards the sides. You might need to bring your legs in. That's okay as well. Bring the elbows towards the side and release the head. And then release slowly. Open the feet so that they're in line with your knees. So the second toe is in line with your knees. Bend the knees. Bring the arms, the hands to the thighs. Do a little bounce. Slow bouncing. And then bring one leg in a little bit, one leg in a little bit. Do a little bit of moving from side to side. And then inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, bend the knees. Inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, bend the knees. One more time, inhale. Exhale, release. One more hip opener. This one is going to be standing balance one. So bring the awareness to the feet. Anchor down through the feet. Inhale, lift the right leg in to the chest, cross the right foot and place it over the left thigh. Start sinking into this pose. Try to bring the elbows to that right leg. You might not get there, and that's okay as well. If this pose is really easy and you want to do a little bit of more work, you might want to fall forwards and stretch your supporting leg. Otherwise, it's good where you are to simply find the stillness of the mind in the pose. And then slowly, we're going to extend the arms towards the sides. And then we're going to come out of it slowly. And we're going to go into the other side. Not a good thing to have a fringe over your eyes when you're trying to balance. Left leg goes up, crosses, hands to the heart center, start sinking in to this pose. And again, if you want to go for a little bit of a deeper challenge, maybe you can fall forwards and stretch the supporting leg. Wherever you are, make sure that you're in a comfortable place. And then really slowly coming back up, stretch the arms over the head, lift the knee, and then release. Wonderful, shake the legs a little bit. Another hip opener is called tree pose. Open the right knee towards the side and lift the foot to whatever place you think is good. So maybe you just want to be here. As always, what we're not doing is pressing onto the knee joint. So this area of the knee, you don't want to be pressing against. So see where you find that stillness. Bring the hands behind you. Interlace the fingers. And now bring both hands towards the outside of your left hip. See if you can open the chest by bringing the elbow back and breathe here. And then slowly release. Same thing on the side. First open the left hip. Find the comfortable position that you want to be in. Hands behind. Open the shoulders first. Bring the hands outside the right hip. Bring the elbow in. Open the chest. Look forwards. Find that balance. Amongst the craziness of the world, finding tranquility and stability and support. And then bring the knee and then release. Open the feet just a little bit wider than your hips Bend the knees, come down into squat that we were doing at the beginning of the class, but this time with the legs open. Your legs push into your arms push into your legs. You're pushing onto the hands and lifting through the chest. If this is super complicated, you can use a block and sit. It's also really nice. And then slowly coming out of Malasana, bring the legs forward, shake, shake, shake. Shake the legs, maybe back into the legs. We're gonna bring one leg in like we did at the beginning of the class, sort of in a triangle. This time we're going to stretch the leg back into pigeon prep. So what I've got here is my left leg is stretched. My right leg is bent at my knee at the front. And then again, find that balance maybe by pulsating from side to side. See where your center is again. And then coming forwards. If this is really hard for your hip, you can use a block as well and place it underneath your hips and find some stability there. And then coming forwards, releasing the head. And inhale, come back. If you have a block, release the block. Bring the back leg forwards and place it on top, like over the right leg, and the foot flat on the floor. Take a moment to sit here very tall. Inhale, lift the right arm up. And as you exhale, bring the elbow outside the left leg and take a twist. And then you can come back to center. And we're gonna go on to the other side. So the left leg is on top, the right leg is behind. Whenever you feel comfortable, you come forward, so you use the block. Observe how much looser or maybe not or tighter your hip flexors are in comparison from when you started the class. See if there has been any changes whatsoever. And it's okay if there haven't been any changes. You just simply observe it again. And then releasing, bring the leg forwards and around, lifting the left arm up, place it outside your right knee, take a twist, look over your right shoulder. And then come back, release. Open your legs towards the sides. Make sure that you are comfortably sitting, both sit bones on the floor. You don't need to open your legs very much. Just do whatever feels comfortable. And just start walking your hands forwards. And stay in a place where you can find stillness. So if you've gone too far into the pose, your brain might be saying, oof, please get me out of here. This is very uncomfortable. So that's not a place of stillness. You might need to walk your hands back in a little bit. Your feet, your toes are dorsiflexed towards you, so that the back of your leg is engaged. And your face softens towards the floor. And then back up again, feet together for this pose called Baddha Konasana. You don't have to bring your feet in a lot. See where you can find that sort of sweet spot where you feel happy and content. And then whenever you're ready, exhale, bring yourself forwards again. You can open your feet to the sides or not. And connecting back with the breath. And then slowly coming back up. And we're going to do that figure of 4 on the floor. So whenever you're ready, you can come down to the mat. Bring your right knee in, place your left foot on the floor. Now cross that right leg and place the right foot on top of the left thigh. Bring both legs towards you and see if you can grab hold of either the back of the thigh or the front of the shin. You can move from side to side. And we're going to go into a twist here. So whenever you're ready, drop your legs towards the left so that your right foot goes flat on the floor. Open your arms towards the sides. And if it's okay with your neck, look opposite direction. Only if it's okay with your neck. And then inhale, come back. Release. Cross the opposite leg over. So the left leg over the right thigh. Bring it towards you. Do some moving from side to side. And then slowly dropping towards the right side of your body. Left foot flat on the floor, arms towards the sides. If you don't have a space, you can bring your arms into cactus pose by bending the elbows. And if there is no trouble with your neck, you can look towards the left. And then inhale, come back to center. We're going to go into Supta Baddha. Bring your leg back, right leg up. And then start stretching your left leg down onto the floor. Inhale, lift your chest, walk your hands up. Bring your chest towards that right leg. Whenever you're ready, release down and slowly open the right leg towards the side. You can hold it with your hands so that the other part of the thigh, the left thigh, is still on the floor. If it's getting lifted from the floor, then you've gone too far on that hip opener. So finding that balance of both hips. Inhale, bring the leg back to center and release slowly down to the floor. Inhale, lift the opposite leg up, the left leg. Again, start walking the hands up the leg, lift the head, lift the chest towards the leg, bring the leg towards you. And then slowly releasing and opening the leg towards the side, and the same sort of thing. See if you can externally rotate the leg so that the toes point towards the floor. You're holding that leg, and so the other hip stays on the floor. And then inhale, bring the leg back to center. Exhale, release. Both knees go in. Give yourself a hug by lifting the
Head towards the knees, rocking from side to side, massaging the lower back. Exhale, release the head down. Bring the hands to the feet for happy baby pose. Called Ananda Balasana. Ananda be happiness, Balasana be the shape of a kid. No? So Bala is a boy or a girl. And you're simply rocking from side to side. And then when you're ready, come in to final relaxation. So stretching the legs onto the floor, letting the feet drop to the sides, palms of the hands facing the ceiling, and now actively moving the shoulders away from the ears. If your lower back is not happy here for whatever reason, you can bring the feet down to the floor, bend the knees. Otherwise, just simply relaxing and moving deeper into this final relaxation, which we're going to have for 2 minutes. And I really encourage you to stay here for these 2 minutes. If you are at home watching this later, you can stay in final relaxation for as long as you need. You might need more than 2 minutes. We're going to bring our conscious awareness to the soles of the feet. And as we do so, the soles of the feet soften and relax. Awareness directed to the legs and the thighs and the hips. Just simply letting go of any resistance and softening the legs towards the floor. Bringing your awareness to your hips that we've been working so much with today. Hip flexors, your lower back, your internal organs, and just allowing them to rest, allowing them to release. Awareness to your hands and your wrists, lower arms, elbows, upper arms and shoulders, releasing down onto the floor. Bringing your awareness to your chest, softening through the chest, just like when we started at the beginning of the class, softening through the jaw and mouth, all the facial muscles, dissolving any tension. Your eyebrows softening, and the skin across the forehead softening as well, all the way up to the crown of the head. Really making the most out of these 2 minutes. Take a deep inhale through the nose. As you do so, you start bringing some slow movements back to your physical body. Whether you choose to wriggle the toes or move the fingers or the nose is up to you. Just coming back to the room that you're in. And whenever you're ready, you can roll onto the right side of your body and come back to a seated position in your own time. And as I cannot see you, I don't know what you're doing. So I guess you can still be resting, or you can come back to seated position. Thank you so much for listening and for coming to this class today. Namaste. Thank you both.